Serious, people who had stalkers. When did you first realize you were being stalked? 1. When I couldn't get into my email because it was currently logged in from a different location. After 10 minutes it was obvious that it wasn't a system error. Honestly, a very scary moment. 2. I wanted a prom date in 1986. I ended up with a fucking psychopath. He was abusive as hell and it took me 4 years to get away from him safely. I'd go to the police. They'd tell me he just liked me and wanted to date me. I'd go to my parents. They'd say, "It's not our problem." I had take extreme measures to get away from this guy. I had tried to break up with him a few times. Once, he jumped off the roof of the shopping mall and hurt his leg. Another time, his friend called me and told me to look out of my bedroom window. Their psycho ass was in a fucking tree with a rifle pointed at my little sister's bedroom window. I finally got rid of him in 1990 when he told me that only death would separate us. I faked an overdose of pills. I didn't take them all but made it look like I had. I knew I'd be found. My roommate took me to the ER. I drank the fucking liquid charcoal. I told the psychiatrist on duty that my death was the only way to get away from this guy. Yes, I wasn't thinking clearly. Yes, it was a shitty thing to fake. Save your vitriol. Finally someone listened to me and put me in touch with services and support so I could get away safely. He moves away at the end of the summer. I'm free. Or am I? 1991, I get random shit in the mail, carpet samples, samples of Depends, Elvis commemorative plates, just weird shit. I know it's him. I'm in my first apartment. The apartment across the hall opens up. And who moves in? That's right. Psycho ass. The building is for sale. Who buys the fucking building? Psycho ass. I'm not kidding. He bought my apartment building. No idea where or how he got the money. I moved out in the middle of the night. I took my shit and ran. I get a new job. I get fired because of a customer complaint. I point out that the complaint was for a time when I wasn't working. I get a new apartment. My landlord calls me into the office to ask if I really am turning tricks in my apartment. Weird shit like that keeps happening. He keeps popping up and undermining my life, my friends. He tells anyone I date that he's going to kill them, that we're still dating and I'm cheating on him with the new guy. By 1996, I've moved halfway across the country. It was awesome. He had no idea where I was and I was so happy. Unfortunately, I had to move home in 1998. And he kept fucking with me. I would come home and all of my radio stations would be tuned one digit down, like 95.7 would be 95.5. There was an alarm clock in my closet that went off at 3 a.m. He let the air out of my tires. Thankfully, a cop moved in upstairs and then the fucking would stopped. I don't hear or see him until 2002. He fucking strolls into my work. I worked in a store. I quit immediately. I'm married by now. I tell my husband what's up. We move. The last time I saw him was in 2008. I was dropping my son off at a day camp. I hear my name across the street. It's Psycho Ass. He's got a camera with a long lens on it. I keep my cool. I ignore him. I go into the camp office and tell them there's a guy across the street taking pictures of the kids as they're being dropped off. They call the police. There's a bit of a dust-up. And he's thrown on the ground and driven off. That's the last I've heard or seen of him and I hope he rots. 3. I went to go visit my dad out of state because I just really needed to get away from my extremely toxic mom and her family for a while. Toward the end of my vacation, I was like, I'm a legal adult, there's nothing stopping me from just staying here. And I decided it was better for my mental health and overall well-being to just stay near my dad. My mom flipped her shit. I told her, I just really want some space. When I'm ready to talk to you, I'll call you. But they have no sense of boundaries, so she and my half-sister constantly called my dad's house trying to get me to come back to live with them. My sister would call, hang up when I wouldn't answer, and then call again right away, so there would be 30 calls on our caller ID in the span of 30 minutes. When I wouldn't pick up the phone, my sister switched to bombarding my MySpace inbox with one insane message after another at 3 a.m. I started noticing weird things around town. Cars I didn't recognize would slow down by me when I was out walking. People that I had just met would suddenly know things about me and ask about my mom like they were trying to get info. My mom called out of the blue one day to ask about my hair. When I lived with her, she always made me keep it long as a means of control. My hair is very thick, heavy, and on the dry side, so it was always a nightmare to keep it down past my waist like she wanted. After I decided I was staying with my dad, one of the first things I did was chop my hair off super short. It felt great getting rid of it all, and I found out after all this time, my hair was actually curly. I never knew because all that hair weighed the curls down. So when my mom called and gave me this really bitchy, "How long is your hair now?" I just told her, I cut it, because it's my hair. Why? You have people out here spying on me. She sputtered, what? What? No. I just asked because, I'm your mom and I could just feel that you cut your hair because moms always know stuff like that about their children. Yeah, sure, whatever. After a year my dad and I moved to a different house and never gave my mom or her family the new address. I never filled out a change of address form, but when my maternal grandmother sent me this really weird card in the mail, she addressed it to the old house. The post office wrote my new address on it and sent it back to her, and she resent it to my new place. After that, random cars would start showing up in our driveway and just sit there. Our driveway wasn't lit, it was on a main road with a lot of traffic, and if you didn't know the driveway was there, you'd miss it. My friends would miss it even when they knew it was coming up, or they started parking on the side street because my driveway was such a pain in the ass. This wasn't the type of place where you pulled in to turn around. Yet, here were these cars in our drive. My stepmom caught one, and as soon as she opened the door to ask, "Can I help you?" the car booked it out and went off down the street. I had a job at a fast food restaurant to pay for college, and things were good until one day someone comes in and says in this sing-song voice, "Oh hi, throwaway. So good to see you." I look and there's this woman standing on the other side of the counter, and it took me forever to recognize her as my mom's sister-in-law. I didn't talk to her, but apparently she called my maternal grandmother and mom right away to let them know she found me and where I was working. Then mom packs up her entire family, her parents, my half-siblings, my insane sister, her husband, their kids, everybody, and drove halfway across the country to show up at my job unannounced to, I don't fucking know what, but they were filming me with a video camera, and with a whole crowd of them. I have a feeling my mom was attempting to gang kidnap me because she kept trying to get me to come out from behind the counter while they were all crowded around. I refused and wouldn't answer with anything but, "I'm at work and you need to leave." There's really no ending to this because even 13 years later I'm still dealing with their bullshit. It's not as frequent as it used to be, but every once in a while they can't help but try to send me messages through whatever means they can try to contact me, like LinkedIn messages or something, just to be fucking annoying. Thankfully I have a really great assistant that runs my work Facebook page, so not only does she catch all the crazy so I don't have to see it, she gets a taste of their insanity firsthand, so there's some validation there. 4. When I would come home and my blinds were turned in such a way that someone outside could see in, even though I always put them back, the next day they would be turned. Then there was that time I found him hiding in my shower. Needless to say, there was some restraining order action and a stay in jail. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, guys.